Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the main card fights for UFC 250, Nunes versus Spencer. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the main card. So in our first fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Eddie Wineland versus Sean O'Malley. So you got the old guard versus the new guard. Wineland 35 versus 25-year-old O'Malley, so a 10-year difference. How I see this fight going really is, we look at Eddie Wineland. He's kind of an old style fighter. He's like a sprawling brawler. He has heavy hands, keeps his hand very low. Pretty decent. Like, he has some decent enough boxing. Now he's going against a younger fighter who's longer than him, taller than him, faster than him, more tools, more versatile, and just more like creative out there. Like, so overall, like, I see Sean O'Malley's a better striker. I feel like he can reach Wineland from longer distances. He can outbox Wineland. He's faster than Wineland. He could beat Wineland to the punch. And he can present multiple threats from multiple, like, different looks. I'm not saying Wineland is so predictable, but at this point, you've seen tape on Wineland. You know what he brings, and he's been around for the game a long time. And that's not to say he's predictable, but there's tape out there. And even if there's tape, he still has a little bit of unpredictability to him. But all that being said, even he wasn't predictable, I just feel like I just see O'Malley having the more tools, having the better boxing. He has the reach, the height. He has pretty much all the attributes you need in this fight to win this fight. Only thing Wineland has over him is power, and to land that power, he has to get on the inside, and that's going to be tough because of O'Malley's footwork, his kicks, his jab. And I see O'Malley just fight on the outside and picking apart Wineland over the course of 3 rounds to a decision. So in this fight, I got Sean O'Malley via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the welterweight division, Magny versus Tony Martin. I'm going to call him Tony Martin because that's what they usually call him. Now they're trying to be Anthony Rocco Martin. Like, who's going to call him that? You're Tony Martin. You moved up to welterweight division, and you try to put your full name out there, but now you're Tony Martin. So how I see this fight right? Tony Martin, so far what he's been fighting at welterweight is he's been fighting a lot of grapplers, and he's been successful. Like, he's fought grapplers who don't have the best striking, and he's been able to use his faster reflexes from coming up to the lightweight division, been able to use his well-rounded skill set, having some solid jiu-jitsu of his own to defend their grappling and defend their wrestling attempts, and then pick them apart on the feet. That's really what he's been doing up at welterweight. He hasn't been coming up here and necessarily fighting strikers. He's been coming up here and fighting grapplers. So in this fight, I really see if if Tony Martin is to win, I think if he can have success with his grappling and take Magny down, because Magny, the main issue we've seen with Magny is maybe low leg kicks and definitely real good like BJJ players are jiu-jitsu guys. Like, they can take him down, they can submit him relatively easy. So if Martin has success, I think it's on the ground. But how I really see this fight happening, I don't think Martin has the best takedown offense. He doesn't have the best striking defense. He has good countering ability, but as far as defending his head, he doesn't move his head the best. Chin kind of hangs up there a little bit. Now he's going against a guy who's taller than him, longer than him, and a guy who can outwork him. And really, when these past couple fights, Martin has been winning by work rate. So with that lack of been on the reach disadvantage with Magny, I think having like a 79 or 80. And I think Magny has like 81-inch reach, and Martin has a 73-inch reach. So been on the wrong side of the height equation and the reach equation, and not having the best striking defense or the best head movement. I feel like Magny's gonna be able to punch. I mean, not punch, but at least it's gonna be hard for Martin to get his head away from some of those longer punches of Magny. And it's not like Magny's a pretty solid striker. He's not like a real sloppy striker. Maybe when he was early on in his career, he had the long arms and didn't know how to use them, didn't know how to pull them back. So it was easy to counter him. Like, he throw these shots, his hands would wing out there. But Magny's striking has gotten significantly better over the years. He's much cleaner with it. There's not as much that time where it's like hang time. I'm gonna call it hang time when his punches are out there. He knows how to throw them, knows how to keep them sharp and maximize that reach and make himself a very long and dangerous target. Be able to use that reach, put up the volume, and pretty much keep somebody at the end of at the end of a yardstick the whole time. That's like he got much better at using that reach. Like I said, Martin's striking defense hasn't really improved over the years. So with Magny having that reach, his work rate, and definitely looking better after being that layoff due to a positive drug test that was a mistake or misunderstanding. He's even looking even better now, like especially in that his last fight against Lee Jillian. I definitely see this fight could play a lot like that fight. Or not exactly like that fight, but in a similar way where Magny's gonna be long, he's gonna be mixing combos in very well, be a hard to hit target, and be relentless like he always is. Like, the same relentlessness from Magny, the same work rate that he always has, but even more generalship than we've seen him years before. Just really dominating his opponent in every aspect and like smothering, never giving him a chance to breathe. And Martin, he can definitely go out there and put up a higher work rate, but Neil Magny's work rate is different. His size will be different. Be able to use that reach, tag up to Martin, who definitely won't be moving his head as much as he needs to be, walking a lot of shots, putting volume back, pushing him back into the cage, using his height and reach and his frame to really stick Martin against the cage and really drain him down and work him down and just keep coming, keep smothering, and not really giving Martin that chance to breathe. And like pretty much another one, he's kind of smothering decision victories, mixing up in the clinch, body, head, elbows, punches, constantly working, constantly pushing Martin back. See, it's a decent fight, but I feel like Neil Magny, like in all fights, he's going to take his opponent, he's going to drown him. Will it be a finish? No, but Neil Magny will definitely get better with each round and further drown his opponent. So in this fight, I got Neil Magny via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, Aljamain Sterling versus Corey Sandhagen. So Aljamain Sterling was looking like he was going to get a title shot. I thought he was going to fight Peter Yan for the vacant title or something. Or was it somebody else? But I think it's Aldo versus Yan or something. But it should have been Sterling versus Yan. But now he's getting Sandhagen, who I think is a worse match. But I really think that Sterling could beat Yan. Yan ain't all that. People like to slice Yan up, but Yan ain't nobody. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know, it's not about Yan. Yan ain't nobody. He's a one-way fighter. And he's shorter. So Sterling could definitely mix his kicks and volume up on him just like do everybody else. And Yan, like I said, his boxing ain't nothing special. But against Corey Sandhagen, I think this is a fight that he will likely lose. Because Corey Sandhagen is a taller fighter. Sterling usually is a taller fighter. He enjoys that reach he has. So he can stick those kicks out to throw a lot of kicks, be awkward, throw the kicks, and when people get on the inside, shoot takedowns. But against Sandhagen's taller than him, same reach. So it's like 6'1" versus 5'7". No, 6 feet tall versus 5'11" versus 5'7". So Sandhagen has what? A 4-inch height advantage over him. So that's the most height that Sterling will have ever given up, if any. So that's a big factor. Sandhagen has solid boxing, and Sterling really hasn't fought any solid boxers. He fought a lot of guys like good brawlers, but never a guy with good boxing, and also a guy that has that much height over him. Like a guy that has height over you in good boxing. That's two things that he has not had to deal with. Corey Sandhagen presents a lot of different angles. He's long. He knows how to use his reach. He can put up a high volume, so that's nothing. Sterling really hasn't fought a guy that can present the same level of volume that he can. Now you're going against a guy who can match your volume, longer than you, who can box much better than you. Sterling really I don't see Sterling the highest level striker. He just knows how to use his reach and knows how to mix in the threat of his other skills. So really, if I see Sterling win this fight, if he gets it to the ground, then it becomes interesting. But on the feet, at Sterling's usual kicking range where he can be free and get away with it, Sandhagen can land jabs, land straights. He can cut off angle, catch him with hooks because he's that long that he can catch him with these stuff where other people can't. So it's a whole different fight. I don't think Sterling has really shown these wrinkles or improvements. He's just been doing more with the same, like getting away with being the longer fighter, being faster than a lot of these fighters, and using those kicks and keeping them at bay and keeping that range where they can't hit him from. But in this fight, at almost every range, Sandhagen can hit him from them. And he can hit him faster, and he has more tools. So all that kicking, he's going to get him punched and counter when he's trying to do those kicks. So really, I just see this fight. I think Sterling can have some success with the grappling, but I think Sandhagen can counter that pretty well unless Sterling comes out early, gets a takedown, and then, because Sandhagen's a slow starter, so if he gets him early, I can see a stoppage from Sterling, like a submission stoppage, first round. So ultimately, if Sterling can't get this fight to the ground early and put Sandhagen away early, or at least do something that will slow Sandhagen down throughout the rest of the fight, like he do some serious damage on him in that first round, take him down and hurt him on the ground, and builds his own confidence and lowers the confidence of Sandhagen, lower the cardio, and then leave him susceptible to getting taken down in the other rounds, or at least drop his pace in the other rounds. I really see Corey Sandhagen really stifling a lot of the grappling attempts of Sterling, and then just picking them apart from there, both their distance. Like Sandhagen can strike with Sterling at his distance at all times. So what I see is Sandhagen boxing being on heavy display, outboxing Sterling, outstriking Sterling over the course of 3 rounds pretty clearly. I don't see it as like a super close striking fight. I see it as a clear advantage for Sandhagen, probably landing about at least 10 more strikes than, well, I'm probably average at least 5-6 more strikes landed, significant strikes landed per round over Sterling at the least, if not 10 every round. So in this fight, I got Corey Sandhagen via decision. Now to our co-main event, we have in the bantamweight division, Rafael Assuncao versus Cody Garbrandt. So this fight right here, you can just be straight up with it from the jump right here. Yes, Cody Garbrandt has the tools, he has the skills, he's a talented fighter, he's still a young fighter. It seemed like he should be younger because it was like just a blink of an eye ago. He was like 19 or 20 or 21. Now he's like 28, 29. Like, where did the time go? Like, he got the title at what, like 24, 25. And all of a sudden lost it. Now we know it. Now 4 years later, he's 29 or 28. So time be flying. It don't feel like that much time flew in my own life, but somehow he went from like 24 to 29. But yeah, that's how it be. But he has the skills, he has the tools, he has all the stuff he needs, but he makes some questionable decisions out there. His chin's questionable is like as well. But I really don't think his chin is as bad as people make it seem. It's just that it's more so his striking flaws than his actual chin. Like, you're gonna keep dropping your hand and swinging hooks to be countered. Like, you just drop both your hands. All somebody do is block one side and throw that hook over your hook because they're blocking and you're not. And they can knock you out. Or in that last fight, I don't know what he was doing. Like, he was swinging like squared up, swinging dumb slow hooks. I don't know. He just be making some bad fights. Like, when he gets frustrated or things not going his way, like he wants them to go, he just gets very sloppy. Or even when it is going his way, he gets sloppy. Like, and he went to a new camp, I believe, for this fight. So if he fixed that flaw up, he could definitely change a lot of things. But how I see this fight, both guys definitely aren't where they used to be as far as in the ranking. Like, at first it was like Cody Garbrandt was obviously champion, or at least around that championship picture. And Assuncao was definitely the guy that should have got a title shot, but always eluded him. So he was like that number one guy, number two guy all the time. Now they both kind of fell out of that picture. They're both trying to get back to where they used to be. So that neither of them are in the best place for their career right now. And I don't think Assuncao is definitely not going to be in that picture again, because I'm looking at the guys that's up in the rankings, their styles just don't match up well with his for him to really get back in that picture. Cody Garbrandt, if he makes some fixes, he can definitely, and with his age, being as young as he is, he can definitely like hop back in the picture. But as far as this fight right here, with how much Cody Garbrandt's been losing, how much he been getting knocked out with like 3-fight knockout losing streak, it's hard to lean to him. I might bet on him if the odds are that bad or that against him. I might bet on him, but as far as predicting for him, on a 3-fight losing streak, never learning in none of those 3 fights, it's like hard to pick him. So I would go with Assuncao. Assuncao has a glass chin as well, but he's just shown to be a clean fighter throughout his career. Like, as far as his striking, like, he has good striking defense, good striking offense. His chin is pretty soft as well, pretty questionable as well. But he's a technically sound fighter all time. He's a fighter that you never see really gets frustrated out there and start being sloppy. He has a fighter that has good fight IQ, and that shows how he's been around the game so long. He's been around the game for, like, even though he's 35, 36, or however old he is, it feels like he's been around the game probably since his teen. Like, he's been around the game forever, like legit forever. Not one of the people that's been around for 10 years. He's been around the game for like 10 plus. Like, he's been around legit forever in some kind of way. So he's a guy that just, it shows in his skill set, shows in his performance. Like, even though he's not where he used to be and fighters are getting better, he's getting older and such, he's always going to be technically sound. He's going to always be out there putting his best foot forward and keeping his eye on the ball, whereas Cody Garbrandt kind of gets lost out there and makes some dumb mistakes out there. That sounds like anybody get caught, and Cody Garbrandt can go out there and put on an amazing performance, but I trust Assuncao to be the cleaner fighter at all times. And I don't see him getting frustrated and doing sloppy stuff like Garbrandt if the fight goes not going his way. So I'm going to lean to Assuncao on this one. I feel like Garbrandt might look good early, but then when Assuncao starts to, pick up what he's doing, I see him getting sloppy and Assuncao start countering him. When he start getting countered by Assuncao, Garbrandt's going to start to show in his fight. Like, he's going to be frustrated that he's getting countered, despite all the improvements he's made and all the technical stuff he tried to make up for his game. When he starts still feeling like he might get knocked out or stuff might repeat, he's going to fall into that pattern, get sloppy out there, and play right into Assuncao's hands. I see him get stopped in the second round via TKO. So that's my prediction. So in this fight, I got Rafael Assuncao via second round TKO. Now to our main event, we have in the women's featherweight division, Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer. So looking at this fight right here, you got the undisputed featherweight champion, the undisputed bantamweight champion, so undisputed women's bantamweight champion, undisputed women's featherweight champion versus Felicia Spencer. So what does Felicia Spencer really bring to the table? Like literally, what does she bring? She has solid jiu-jitsu. Her striking is very questionable, like very, very questionable. You could say she's one-dimensional and you wouldn't be wrong. But if you want to be respectful, you could say she definitely trains her striking some. She could definitely probably hold her own with some low-level strikers. And she's not bad, or she could at least hold her own with some people in the division. But she's not a one-dimensional fighter. She has striking skills. But in reality, her striking skills aren't really much of anything. She got like pillow hands. I mean, she gets you on the ground. I seen that ground and pound on the last fight. It was pretty brutal. But on the feet, her striking is trash. Like, let's be honest, trash. So she's a one-dimensional fighter who wants to get to the ground. She does have a tough chin. That's one thing you can't say she don't have. She tough chin. She could take some damage and she could keep going. And she took a lot of Cyborg's biggest shots and still made it all 3 rounds or no, I think it was 3-round fight. It wasn't no 5-round fight. All 3 rounds against Cyborg, taking her big shot. Got her face all busted open, but she kept coming. So in a 5-round fight, that's her path to victory. Like, if she can get it to the ground, but really, even if she gets to the ground, it's not like Nunes is not a decorated black, but Nunes was a grappler before she was a striker. So even on the ground, Nunes can grapple her, maybe even out grapple her. But really, Spencer's best shot is to be in her face, smothering, taking these big shots like a punching bag, hoping Nunes gets tired, and then draining on her and getting her down when she's tired, and then working on some ground and pound and some submissions if she can get Nunes tired. But outside of that, I'm not predicting this fight off best case scenarios. And all scenarios outside of best case scenarios for Spencer, she gets destroyed in this one. Nunes can destroy her on the feet. She can stifle her takedowns. Her takedown attempts are pretty poor, especially for somebody that has the speed of Nunes, the reaction ability of Nunes, the hips of Nunes. And on the feet, Nunes can pick her apart at distance, up close, and every single angle in the striking game. So really got to see Nunes stifling Spencer's takedowns. Like I said, Spencer's gonna be tough, but it's only so many punches a human can take. And even this case that she can take a lot of Nunes shots and try to drain her, I don't think Nunes is gonna blow her wide trying to finish her, because like it's nothing Nunes has out there to prove against Spencer. Like is she shown in some of these other fights that weren't the most spectacular? Like, she knows how to use her energy not to gas herself out and lose her the fight like she did in her past, like earlier on in her career, where she blew her wide and got finished or lost to these other women before in her past. So she knows there's no reason to try to go out there and look for that highlight reel when it's better just to win. Like, if she feels that Spencer is eating her shots well enough, she's not gonna go out there and just keep throwing these big shots. She's gonna pick her shot, because there's no need for her to really throw no big shots. She can outstrike. She can make this fight very easy and just pick her apart and dance around her for 5 rounds to easy decision. Or she can just see, if she see the shot, land at this, like what's called, just be smart about her cardio, or at least her energy expenditure out there, and still land some big shots on Spencer. But she's not gonna be out there and just throw nothing but 100%. So she's gonna pick her shots. And the actual scenario I see for this fight is that she's gonna pick apart Spencer, see her openings, take advantage of land some big shots. Spencer's gonna eat them pretty well early on, but eventually Nunes gonna mix in value along with that power and start like just nailing her to the cage, and then stops her in the 3rd round. Like, maybe she might get stopped standing, but she gonna get stopped either way. Like, Nunes not gonna be able to just throwing big shots until she breathing and huffing puffing like the big bad wolf. She gonna just be picking her shots and just keep touching her. And Spencer has no defense, so you don't have to throw no big shots to get the refs to stop. Like, her defense is not gonna be intelligent. She's gonna keep getting peppered up with these little shots, not the biggest shots, but the fact that they keep coming and she's not showing no intelligent defense is gonna get the fight stopped. She's gonna get hit with one big shot and a bunch of small volley shots that just keeps tagging her until the refs pull Nunes off her. And it's gonna happen in the 3rd round. So in this fight, I have Amanda Nunes via 3rd round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for the main card of UFC 250, Nunes versus Spencer. And as always, thanks for watching.